Hi, Living Hope, and welcome to this midweek devotional. Today, I want to continue looking at Psalm 23, and today we look at verse 4. It says, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And I want to begin by looking at this phrase, the valley of the shadow of death, or some translations say, the valley of deep darkness. And so imagine a shepherd leading sheep through a valley. They usually took them through the valley in order to find food and nourishment, because the best food after the winter and the summer was found in the valley. But the journey to the valley is dangerous. There's wild animals around that can be ready to devour and pounce on the sheep, but they also have to face bad weather and bipolar weather, where suddenly a storm breaks out and there's thunder and floods can take the sheep away, and the sun is blocked from these valleys, and suddenly you find yourself in the literal valley of darkness. And I can recall how weather can change very quickly through an experience I had with my brother, my brother Joel, as we went up to Sedona, Arizona, and we started this hike looking for a beautiful waterfall in a waterhole we had read about. But we didn't realize how far and how deep it was. And we also didn't realize that the weather could change drastically from one moment to the next. And so as we were walking, it's sunny, it's nice, it's cool outside, but suddenly 2.5 miles in, it starts to get cloudy, and it starts to, we hear thunder and it starts to rain. And so we start to be afraid, and we start to think, what do we do? Do we turn back? And we start to be afraid. But imagine a shepherd leading sheep through a storm, but rather than trying to find a place of recreation like me and my brother to have fun, literally the sheep's lives are on the line because they need to find nourishment and they won't be able to survive without it. And so in many ways, as I've said before, as followers of the great shepherd, as Christians, we are the sheep that often walk through the valley of the shadow of death in a spiritual sense. We are the ones who walk through the valley of deep darkness in our lives sometimes. And I don't know what you and your family are going through right now. Maybe you're going through a financial struggle, or many of you might have faced the death of a loved one, or the sickness of someone that is close to you, or just pain and uncertainty or anxiousness in your life. For the kids and the youth, I know you might be going through a time of isolation, of being far away from your friends and not having anybody around, and having canceled plans and canceled celebrations, or having the struggle of online learning and going through something new and different that might be challenging for you, whatever it may be for you and your family. I know that right now we're surrounded by many struggles. However, it is important to note that in this verse, the valley of the shadow of death is as much God's right path for us as the green pastures and the still waters that we saw in verse 2. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that the Christian life is not always tranquil or soothing or relaxing or undisturbed, or a day on the beach or a mountain high top experience. It's not always that. Sometimes we walk through valleys. Sometimes God leads us through valleys, through dark valleys, because it is in these valleys with their trials and dangers that we are able to develop our character, that we are able to grow and become new people, the new people that have strong character. But this verse teaches us that when we walk through these valleys, when we go through these trials and these storms, we can rest assured and we should fear no evil, because God, Jesus Christ, the great shepherd, is with us, and he is the shepherd that is leading the way. We will fear no evil. It says, "I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." So shepherds carried rods in order to protect and just be able to hit anything that came their way and protect the sheep from animals and dangers. But they also had a staff that was used to control and to literally guide the sheep and to pull them away from danger. So today, we must not fear or be anxious, because God is with us. He's with you. The shepherd is ready to protect us. He's ready to comfort us. He's ready to calm our anxieties and to guide us when we seek for him and pray to him. And as Christians, we should respond differently to trials and to unforeseen life events. The world and our neighbors and non-believers and everybody around us might respond differently. They might respond with fear. They might respond with anxiety, or maybe even with anger to the situations that are happening around us. But as Christians, we can be concerned with what is happening around us, but we fear no evil and we respond differently because we have the great shepherd leading with us, comforting us, next to us. We have the great shepherd who is leading the way, Jesus Christ. Amen.